What's going on, guys? Matt Manduk here, and I have another rental car review for you. I'm sorry about the wind, but it just will not die down, and I need to do this while the sun is still out. As you can see, the birds love to poop on it. But this is a 2020 Toyota Corolla. I'm going to walk around. Clearly, I am walking around. I can show you the trunk space because you might be curious. It is a small car. But the trunk space is adequate for many things. As you can see, I have many things in it. Well, not a whole lot, but I mean, there's more than enough room for huge duffel bags, and you could fit a person back there if you needed to. I don't recommend that. Then we're going to get inside, and I can tell you about the features. Okay, so it may just be the option in this car, but the only 12 volt is in the console here. It does have 2.1 amp USB, and I don't know what the rating on this is because it doesn't say, but there's an auxiliary port right above this USB here. And it's a rental car, so I'm not like, moving in or any of that. But this is very similar to the Camry that I did the review on around, well, I think you guys saw it in January, and many of the people that are watching this are not my normal subscribers, I don't think. It's people that are probably interested in this car. Now, I appreciate this car, and I'm going to go over the things that you can see while the vehicle's not running, and then I'll start it and I can show you the stuff that you can't see. The cruise control is on the steering wheel. There is no paddle shift or anything like the Camry has. In fact, there's not an overdrive disengage on the shifter or any of that either, which Corollas from the past and almost every Japanese model of car has had that. So it is kind of disappointing not to have that, but I don't find any skimpiness in power with this car. And then on the left is your volume controls and all your, and that's for your audio and all that, and your phone, and and of course it has a horn. It has auto high beams, which work, and I do appreciate them. I use them every time I have a car that has them, which Toyotas have been the only cars that have had them that I've rented. And I have had this for 5 days. Today's the 6th day, I believe. And on the side here, what you're seeing, the windows and all that, that's pretty standard equipment nowadays. Side mirrors, nothing too fancy about them. They could be bigger, but I'm used to semi-truck mirrors, so it is what it is. The cup holder down here, you can see I have an energy drink can in it, which it is what it is, but it does not fit a liter of, like a 1 liter Pepsi bottle, and that could be a problem with any 1 liter of water or any of that kind of stuff too. So that should be noted. I don't know that that would be a reason not to buy it, but it is what it is. It does have door pockets, and I see advertisements online of aftermarket companies that make door pockets, and I've never had a car that didn't have them. Of course, the glove box has all the instructional stuff that I never use, because you can figure out how to use a car, and there's a nifty compartment to, I guess, put your phone or whatever. It's just a place to put things. The hood pop is there. The trunk and gas door are down there. The seat goes far enough back. I am 6'4", and I can drive this car comfortably. It does have a tilt and telescoping wheel, which I keep it all the way out because I sit all the way back to have enough leg room. But that's more or less it. I didn't realize that the center console actually slides, so it can be maybe more comfortable for you, but it does open, and you get those compartments. There is a little nubby underneath of it, but it does not have back seat USBs. The back seat is made for 3 people, but it has a fold down console that has cup holders that probably also don't hold 1 liters, and they look a little small for large anything. And of course you have your anchors for kid seat, which, you know, you probably need because that's what this car is for, and it is a very good car for being under $25,000. But Corollas through the years have always been. Now, the rental car company gives you 2 keys, and let me grab them because I keep them on a separate hook. One's just a basic regular key, and the other one is the key that has the key fob on it, which is a key. Then that has all your features. I don't like that it's not illuminated, so at night you could accidentally hit the panic button when you mean to hit the trunk pop. I did that with the Camry at Christmas time. I'm a little bit more mindful of it now, but is what it is. It is a much more basic version than the Camry was, but as it starts, it has a little less digital involved, and you can see you have a speedometer, and you have an odometer and a couple basic gauges like fuel and temperature, and then yes, you have a turn signal that does your high beams and headlights, which, you know, pretty basic stuff. And then on the other side you have your wipers, which I haven't had to use because the weather hasn't been bad since I've been here. But the reason I start it is the 2 things. The screen on the right, that does your active cruise control. As you can see, it'll tell you who's sitting in what seat in the back seat, and you know that there's nobody in the back seat comes up as red. It is low miles, and if I hit the cruise control, it says radar cruise active, and I can't set it because I'm not moving and I can't film and drive, but I did take a picture because this car does some things that other cars do not. One, this is the first car I've ever driven that will allow me to reduce the cruise control speed or set the cruise control below 30 miles an hour. This thing will allow you to decrease the cruise control all the way down to 18 miles an hour, which kind of an odd number, but okay, that's almost half of what most cars do. And being able to set at 20, which is what most school zones are, and that's difficult for most of us to just do without going over, or 25, which is what a lot of, you know, residential zones are, is ideal. And I have actually used that, and I would like it if my semi truck did that, but it doesn't. It does also have active cruise control and lane keeping, and I was playing with that a little bit. It does have sensors somewhere on the steering wheel that will detect whether or not you're holding the steering wheel, because I was letting go of the wheel and trying to let the car drive. But if it says you haven't been touching the steering wheel for an elongated period of time, the lane keeping disengages and then you can't use it. The screen does change to a night, like a black version, when the headlights turn on, and the headlights are set on automatic, so whenever it's dark enough for headlights to be on, it does turn to a night setting. And I was worried about that because it's white. It comes up with this app suite thing, and I didn't download the app suite because I don't do that with rental cars because I have them for a week. I don't need to get into that kind of stuff, but it's pretty basic. And what you see on the screen is the range. And I mean, I filled up the tank yesterday, and the rental car company didn't have it full when they gave it to me, so it is what it is. But I filled up the tank yesterday, and you can see it's averaging 30.5 miles to the gallon, and I don't know when the last time it had fuel, so I couldn't tell you if that's accurate or not. I don't have my phone hooked up because guess what? That's what I'm using to film this. So you can't see all that, but it does have an option for navigation, but they didn't get this option. And you know, the menu, pretty basic. Audio, pretty basic. It does allow you to edit the sound, and it gets loud in here, but I wouldn't call it obnoxiously loud. It's not very bassy. It's kind of what you expect for not the bottom of the line Toyota, but a lower model, whereas the Camry did have a very nice audio system. Then the climate control is pretty simple. Fan controls here, temperature setting here, and you actually set the temperature by what number you want it to be, and then you have all your options, which is very easy to have as a driver. And I actually do like, because I think it was a Mitsubishi that didn't have volume, and it was just a problem. So it has volume knob here, which is very easy to grab, but yeah, it does also have steering wheel controls. And then you have a tune on this side that I don't use because I use Bluetooth every time I use a rental car. But that's pretty much all I have. Oh, well, it does have an overhead thing that I really haven't messed with, as an SOS button, which I'm not going to use in a rental car unless I have, if I get into an accident or something crazy, and I'm a pretty good driver. It does have if you want to turn the lights on based on, your doors being open, or if it's on anyway, and, the courtesy lights, when you open the doors, you can turn them on and off individually. The visors, yes, you have a mirror. The mirror, when you open it, turns on a little light, which is very useful, or could be very useful, and more so that the light could be more useful, while you're doing things. And you have that same feature on the other side, which is nice. But they also have, and this is something that a lot of cars don't have, is extensions to the visors to block out some space in between. Although it could fill the area a little better, that is a nice feature that I'm sure doesn't cost them anything to put in. And I think all cars and trucks, especially commercial trucks, should do that, but they don't. Although I did have a semi-truck that had two. When you folded this one down, there was another one that you could open to go to the window, which was kind of nice. But that's pretty much everything, and I hope you enjoyed this. As always, guys, thanks for watching. I wouldn't do this without you, and I'll see all my friends in my next video.